Happy Halloween, and welcome back to Interpreting the Scares! That is right, we have come to the end of the road with Interpreting the Scares. It is now Halloween, but guess what? I got a surprise for you. That's right, not a trick, but a treat, because today I have not one, not two, but 3 reviews that I'm going to be scattering out throughout the day, so make sure you look out for those, and the best way to do that, by the way, is to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when it happens. But that means these next 3 reviews are some of the most popular horror films ever made when it comes down to specifically horror films that never received a sequel. Starting off with It Follows. When carefree teenager Jay sleeps with her boyfriend for the first time, she learns that she is the latest recipient of a fatal curse that is passed from victim to victim via intimate encounter. Death, Jay learns, will creep inexorably towards her as either a friend or a stranger, slowly walking their way towards her no matter where she is. Her friends don't initially believe her seemingly paranoid ravings until they too begin to see the phantom assassins and band together to help their friend defend herself. I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend when it comes down to these final films on this list and why they ended up being as popular as they are. Now I'm starting to see what popularity means when it comes down to horror. Because this last week of horror films, a lot of them tended to be kind of smart. Because yes, on the surface they can be creepy, they can be scary, they can be whatever, but they're oftentimes deeper than just on the surface stuff, and they usually have something that you can think about, that you can theorize about, that you can discuss with others about. They often have metaphors, they often have messages, they often have a ton of stuff going on, and the same can absolutely be said about It Follows, which is a film that I find to be extremely well made. It has issues, don't get me wrong, issues that I definitely am annoyed with, but overall, I think that this film is phenomenal. Now, the first time that I saw, along with everybody else that saw it for the first time, the biggest thing that kind of shouts out to me when watching is that it's just this giant allegory for STDs. Like, it's just a big warning about what you should do when you find yourself intimate with somebody and how you should be, careful. Because you picked the wrong person and you got this terrible thing that follows you around everywhere you go. And in this film, the only way to get rid of it, not really get rid of it, but to delay it from stopping you, is to spread it to others. And then they have to spread it to others, and then whatever. And it just becomes this big allegory for STDs. That is technically the case, but when I watched it the second time here, I realized that there's more to it than that, because part of it really is just about death in general and how you can't escape it. No matter where you go and what you do, it's always slowly creeping up on you. And if you make the wrong decisions, it might, get you faster than if you make smarter decisions. And no matter what you do, it's always there around the corner. And I like that about this film, because it absolutely is true, and it speaks volumes to those that might have that fear of death, which I think is like the second biggest fear of all time, right below public speaking. The film's also really, really made well. Cinematography is so good. The sense of tension is really, really strong, and it's very effective, even though it has some logical problems behind it. Like, for instance, it has the zombie problem. The zombie problem being this creature that is following everybody around. There's only one of them, and it only walks, it never runs. And so, theoretically, all they have to do is get in a car and drive to the other side of the world, and then how long does it take for one person to just simply walk to the other side of the world? It's gotta take a long time, right? The director has come out and said that that's not necessarily true. That's one perspective. You don't know this creature. Don't try to translate or define its limitations. Because technically, for one person, it might just walk towards them no matter where they are, like what you see in the movie, but for somebody else, it might appear wherever they are, whenever they are, and always be there, and you can never get rid of it. And I like the director's explanation about this, because in the movie, there's not a ton of exposition, just very, very little, because it allows the audience to think for themselves and to describe what they're seeing and what it means to them, because it might mean something different for you and what it means to me. Like a lot of the other films that I've reviewed this month, it is a film that you can just enjoy on the surface because it is creepy. Like I said, it effectively gets under your skin. Part of that is the performances, part of that that is the way these creatures look. Part of that is some of the cheaper jump scares that they have in the film, which are very, very good. Some of that is the cinematography. A lot of it is just well put together. Another problem that I wanted to talk about with this film, the main character in this, she's dumb. Like, she has that stereotypical white person problem that a lot of people have in horror films, which is just always going towards the problem, and you want to shout to the screen, dude, stop! What you're going towards, literally nothing good can come of it. What are you doing? Then again, there's a reason why you see that a lot in a lot of horror films, because that does build tension. That does build your investment into the film, even if what they're doing in the film is stupid. It still builds your engagement. It still builds that feeling inside you when you watch a horror film to look away, because you know something's gonna happen. You know nothing good's gonna happen, and to me that's positive. That's what you want from horror. I just think in general, It Follows is original, it's unique, it's smart, it's clever. It stands out, it sticks with you, which is probably the most important thing of all. Especially because the director made sure that you're not entirely sure what time era this takes place in. You got old cars, you got old tube black and white TVs, and then you got this weird shell phone that this girl has, which is basically like a seashell that operates like either a cell phone or an e-reader of some sort. They made it up for the movie, but it was modern technology. Regardless of what the heck it was modern technology. And so the director wanted to do that in order for the film not to immediately feel aged. Overall, very, very good horror film. I understand why it's as popular as it is. Definitely a film that I could see myself rewatching on certain occasions. It's not for everybody. If you don't like horror films, you're not gonna like it, whatever. And don't show it to kids. Just use your best judgment. Let's take a look at my final score for It Follows, which I rated an A- letter grade final overall score of 88%. 88 out of 100 possible stars. A majority of the best part of this score comes down to the bias score, of course, because it is horror, so it is very subjective, which means at the end of the day, I like this movie, okay? Even when it comes down to the technical aspects, my technical score was like 80%, which is great. It's not perfect, no, of course, but when it comes down to horror, that is very, very good. It's very hard to get a good score in the technical department when it comes down to horror. It's not the best horror film that I saw all month, yet I still got a couple more to talk about today. So remember, I'm reviewing other movies today. Make sure that you stick around for those. But I would like to hear your thoughts about It Follows in the comment section down below. Is it your favorite horror film? Do you find it just okay? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as for YouTube, you guys know what to do. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!